Hello everyone and welcome to Connect with Evie. My name is Evelyn and I'm your source for tips and tricks about every secret nook and cranny in Objectif Lune's flagship product. Today, we are taking a look at the use of inserter marks inside of Connect Designer. More specifically, the addition of visual marks on the page that are used for folder inserters in order to fold the invoice going to a specific client and then put it in the same envelope. The beauty of Connect Designer in this case is that it can actually join two documents together for the same client so that the folder inserter can put it in the same envelope. We do that by using the job preset and the output presets together along with an existing well-configured document. But it is actually fairly magical. So let's take a look at this. I already have a document prepared and we are going to be doing this from A to Z. So I've already prepared the basic invoice that we've seen before, and we are going to use this for the folder inserter output. Now, one thing that's just, the basics of things that's important to consider, you do have normally one record per document that you're creating, and this is what we need to have. We are going to use something a little special, a little different in order to join these documents together in the output. You don't need to do this from Data Mapper and Designer directly. So as you can see on the screen, we have 101 records here, and that's it, 1 and 2. Record 1 and 2 are actually for the same customer. They're both for Percy Ludwig, and you'll see this name so many often in some of our data files, but this is what we're going to do. We are going to make sure that this guy has the two invoices in the same envelope. We don't actually have to do anything in Designer. All of this magic happens inside of the output. So let me go first in the job creation setting to create a job preset. So in the job settings, first we need to apply filtering and sorting to records. Now this is not actually strictly necessary in my case because I know both of the records for the same client are one right next to the other, but you might have to do this. Like your records might not be sorted, so I'm going to show you how to sort them properly so they go together. The other thing is we are going to use grouping, which is going to let us create a document set for all the invoices or all the documents for a single recipient. Data filtering we don't need, so I'm going to just skip that. And then we're going to use the sorting option. And here I'm just going to select the customer ID, which I believe is, yeah, this one. Okay, so we have the customer ID. We're just sorting the job by customer so that all the invoices for the same customer ID are one right next to the other inside of our job. That's the only thing that we need to do. The other thing is we need to create a document set. And I'm going to use the ID also here. Adding a field to the document set grouping fields means that all the documents for the same ID will be part of the same document set. So here we will have two documents for Percy Ludwig that we are going to join together in a single document set. If you're into the lingo of the folder inserter world, you probably recognize that this might be a mail piece. It is. We call it document set for various reasons, but you can think in your head that mail piece equals document set, pretty much the same thing. So that's all we needed in the job creation. I'm going to call this invoice ID grouping. Of course, you can give it a proper name for yourself. And I'm going to go back and this time go into the output creation setting. In the output creation, we'll just select Add Inserter Marks, click on Next, and we need to use an HCF file. HCF files are hardware configuration files. Those are essentially the equivalent of a printer driver, let's say, but they're specifically meant for folder inserters. You can find them as a downloadable resource on help.objectiflune.com, which is our resource center, and here you download the HCF for the folder inserter you have. At the moment, the only folder inserters that we support are Pitney Bowes inserters. If you have another brand, speak to the technical support department and you can make a request for an HCF to be made for your folder inserter model or group. So here we'll select the DI900-950. It just happens to be the one that I had loaded for another presentation. And on the left, you'll have a couple of different options that are related to the insertion of different things. So, for example, just barcode basic is just normal folder inserter, which is just to join all the documents in one envelope. You can add integrity marks into it to make sure that you're not missing any pages. And you can also add selective marks. I'm going to select that because there's more option for that. And then you select the fold type, which is the C fold, which is, left and right. And then the Z fold, which looks like a Z. You just look at it at the side, and that's what it looks like. And the collation level, and you recognize document set, which is my mail piece. We can select it here. On some folder inserters, you can print the marks on the back. I'm just going to leave that here. And if you have selective inserts, you can use them here. You can add them here. So let's say I have a selective insert. I can add a condition. Just either add it completely on every mail piece if you have a promo page that you want to add on there or whatever, or conditionally based on information fields or metadata fields. We haven't seen those. You can add them in the job infos, but I just want to show you that it is possible to conditionally insert these marks right on here. Now, with all these options set, which you should all recognize if you know your folder inserter, we click on Next, and we have the PDF representation of our output. The red area on the left and right in this moment are the places where the specific model of folder inserter recognizes or can read the inserter marks. So if I move this anywhere on the page within that red area, this means the folder inserter can recognize it. If I move it outside, I get a warning, mark position out of bounds, because we know where the cameras in the folder inserter are located. And you can verify for each of your pages whether or not it interferes with any of the contents. In my case, wherever I put it here is fine. And then we go on Next. This only appears because I'm doing PDF, so ignore that if you're doing actual print, like PostScript output. And let's just overwrite the inserters that I have here, and bingo. So this means that when I produce a PDF output, the inserter marks should be in there. So I'm going to actually generate a PDF for you, and I'm going to show you what that actually looks like in the output, what the inserter marks generate. So I'm going to print and simply use the appropriate creation presets, the job and output presets, save a file on my desktop, and wait for it to print. And we now have the output PDF, which does show the inserter marks on the right. Now, you might recognize that they look similar to the other barcode, probably because they're both using code 139 or code 39, I think. This was just an example in the invoice, but this one will be recognized by the folder inserter. This one's outside the red area anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So we can see that... Oh, well, we can see that on the second page, it is in the wrong location. I don't know why I didn't see that. Probably because I was switching records and not pages. Anyways, this shows you exactly what is necessary. So here I would have to readjust the location of the barcode or mix and match my content a bit so it actually goes in the right place or leaves enough space for that folder inserter mark. And this concludes today's Connect with Evie. I hope you learned something new today. If you have any questions, comments, something you want me to talk about, please don't hesitate to sound off in the comments below. Like the video if you like it, subscribe if you want to be advised of new contents when it is made available. And as always, see you in a few clicks.